Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the last class. I do apologize at having to re-record it. For some reason, it was not recording when we finished class, but it was recording when we started. And now we are recording again. And I'm double checking. Yes, it is recording. So anyway, without further ado. All right, so with week 4, we're talking about the programs required, as well as the announcements. Well, the programs required are software Adobe CC 2017, which you have, so you're not going to have to worry about finding the announcement for it. And there's no other announcements past that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so to start with, we discussed the idea, and we're going to go ahead and make a new one here. So File, New, and we're going to go 2 by 2. All right. Now, we discussed the idea of making layers that are inside of, that have the actual buttons inside of them. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to go through that and create some. So we're going to go ahead and go with the primary colors to begin with. All right, so first color, let's go ahead and go with red. And let me make sure that we are in RGB mode. Yes, we are. So, all right, so we're going to start with red. So 250, 0, 0. Paint bucket, poof. All right, and now the link for this. And that's red. So we're going to go ahead and make it yellow. And then we'll make it so it fits within there. All right, so there's the home button. All right, so this is layer 1. All right, so we're going to put those 2 into it. And we're going to call it, cancel, come on, name. We'll go over here. And from use, we're going to go ahead. Look at the master. All right, so as you know, the states are active, mouse down, rollover, and normal. All right, so we're going to go ahead and call this one active. Actually, normal. And we're going to go Command J, J, J. So we're going to do it 3 times. All right, so that's now off, off, off. So normal. Then we have mouse down, rollover. Rollover, mouse down, and active. So roll over, mouse down, and active. Okay, so for rollover, we're going to take this, and that's going to be green. So 0. Okay. Right, so that takes care of that one. Mouse down. Blue. And active. All right, now the active, let's go ahead and make it cyan. So 100%, 0. There we go. All right, so we can see all the button stages, all right? So what we're going to do, turn them each on, File, Save As, and we're going to call it Test, all right? So we're going to just call it Test PSD, Save and Replace. All right, now let's go over here, and we're going to actually import. So we're going to place Photoshop button, Test. And notice composite, layer 1, it breaks it down. So it does not have each of those on it, okay? So that's not going to work. Let's try it again, place Photoshop button, test. Okay, click. Now watch when I test this. File, preview site and browser. And it's there, I just can't touch it. Oops. So what we're going to do is we're going to just close it. And now we're going to add another page over here. And we're just going to call it test. All right. So the test page, now we're going to go ahead and go to preview page. And you'll see, okay, notice the button's not working. All right, there's no actions. So that's something to remember as you're doing this. That type of thing's not going to work. So what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and we're going to take that off of the master and we're going to put it onto here. Now watch the difference. Place Photoshop button. Again. And this time I'm going to actually take each of the colors. There we go. Put it right there. Now watch. And file, preview page. Okay, now notice I have it. But it doesn't show the word. So if you don't do that, now watch the difference here. All right, so we're going to take that out. Go back to Photoshop. All right, now with each layer, what I'm going to do is Command E. Now, take it out and delete the layer. Command E. Roll over. Take it out. Delete that layer. Command E. Mouse down. Take it out. Delete the layer. And the last one. Command E. Active. Take it out. And delete the layer. Now watch the difference. Save it. Come over here. File. Place. The test. Notice it'll do just one layer if that's what you want. Clip to layer contents. See, this is just importing that. But remember, what we need to do is we need to place Photoshop button. All right, so there we have it. Okay, place. Now we're going to test it. And as you can see, it now works. All right. Now, how do we get the buttons to work? Because you notice, we go back to here. Well, there's no buttons to that page. Now we look. Let's do the vertical. Okay, that's what happens. Horizontal, uniform size, all pages. There we go. See now how that drops down below and my test page is next to it? This is how we create one of those types of pages that have subpages. All right. Now we do vertical. Those all go to the home page, but not the test. Now watch. What we're going to do is we're going to save this. File. And now we're going to preview site and watch what happens. Okay, the test page, perfect. Home, I can go to my portfolio, the about, or the contact, or to the home page. And as you can see, that's how you just rebuild the tabs up here. So now to go back, what we're going to do is, see, let's keep going back. This, we're going to close test page. Now we're going to delete the test page. Remember, delete a page, all you have to do is go up here to the X and it's gone. All right. Now, watch. So we have that button working. So as you can see, the home, about, portfolio, contact. All right, so there we have that. So that's how we can lay those out. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to create this again, all right? But to do this, what I need to do is bring up my discussion from week 3. And I closed that without thinking about it. Sorry about that. All right, so for my discussion for week 3, as you could see, excuse me, that was discussion for week 4. Okay, there we go. So this is what my pages are going to look like, okay? So this is my home page. All right, now I've already created these buttons. To do the buttons, you know, you have to actually create each button individually. So what we're going to do is File, New Site, all right? Width, we're going to go with 1280. One column. Now you could put columns too, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Fluid width, which means it moves. And we're going to go with 900 height. All right. So now this is what we've got. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start by bringing graphics in. So File, we're going to Place. All right, let's see. The Loki design mock-ups are right here. That's what I want them to look like. You do not bring the mock-ups over, okay? These are the buttons. So we want the home button, which turns out to be the index page. Open. And notice I didn't bring it over as a button. Place Photoshop button, home. Let's take a look. So we want click, or that's going to be mouse down, roll over, and normal. Okay. All right, so there we go, and we place it. And I'm going to place these like this to begin with. Now watch what happens if I actually shrink that down. That whole thing shrinks. We don't want that yet. So now we're going to place each one. So File, Place, Photoshop button, About, okay, now what I'm going to do for measurements here, let's go to right there. Shift 1, 2, 3. All right, next, so the About, now the Portfolio. And the last one is going to be Contact. Okay. All right, now they're too large for the page. Let's do the Command 0. And as you can see, they're all too large. So what we're going to do is highlight the whole thing. All right, and then I'm just going to Shift, and we're going to drag them down. All right, now that gives us a rough idea. Next, what we need to do is place the logo, which is not here. So let's go to Images. And we're going to take the SVG logo and place it here. Okay, so first things first, we need to shrink that down. Notice how it just kind of went. All right, so when we go resize, come over here, we can actually take that. So now go to resize, link it together, the height and width. So we're going to go down to 100 there. And see how easy that was? It's a lot easier than doing the other one. All right, now we're going to take all these buttons and make them fit right here. So what we have to do is just the Shift and drag. And we'll put them right there. All right. In fact, what I'm going to do is one more over for each. There we go. All right. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take this. This is my top. Okay. And we're going to take all these, move them down and over. And so that would do the same thing. All right, so now we have this. This is my page. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the color Grab the color from here, and there we go. Now notice the browser fill didn't do anything. So what we're going to do with that is browser fill is going to be the same. All right. Now I have all my pages. All right. So there's my pages. So here we're going to have a home, portfolio, home, about, portfolio, and contact. So we're going to add those. Portfolio. About. And a contact. All right, so now these are all together. Now let's go back into here. And because we just created those, now all we have to do is home is going to go to the home. About, portfolio, and contact. Let's try that again. Contact. All right, so that's our pages. They're now set up. All right. So we're going to actually start filling them in next. So first, let's go with the home. All right, so let's make it fit in here. All right, so let's take a look on the home page in the discussion. Notice it has Paul Rand's quote and some pictures of what I've done. So what we're going to do, let's move this in. All right. That way I can see as I'm doing this. So Command 0. All right, so I'm going to place. Let's go back to here. Now, because it's something that I did the other day, these are all one image. So what I need to do is we're going to open a recent site. And I'm just going to grab that graphic. So Command C. All right, and Command V. Come on. Shift. There we go. All right. So there is my website. Okay. And like I said, notice I still somehow took off the top of that one picture. All right. So there's my home page. It looks just like that. All right. So next, what we want, close that. And now the About Me page. All right, the About Me page, notice isn't here, but we only had to do 3 pages. So what I'm going to do for the About Me page, I'm going to take information that I have out on the web already. Okay, designs, okay. About. And we're going to take this right there. And we're going to just place it here. And notice how small it goes. Well, that's easy to fix. So we're going to do Command 0. And whoops. Okay. So now I've got to select it all and to find a color. All right. Now notice what I'm going to do is just grab this red for now. Oops, I don't need to do this in Photoshop. So Muse. Okay. Now for the Muse, what I'm going to do, highlight all that, the color. Let's grab this red. And we're going to take this up to 72. Wow, that's way too much. So Shift down, down, down. All right, and there we have it. That looks pretty good, so we'll leave it at that. I kind of like that color combo too. So now my About Me looks like the one that I have out there. All right, so next, now we're going to bring in photos. All right, so this is the portfolio page. Now we're supposed to use some widgets. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the panels and use the tab panels. Put it right here. Close that. Command 0. And we're going to make this fit this whole thing. Okay, notice it's not quite fitting. So what we're going to do is just center it. All right, we're going to take this one out and this one out. And we're going to place just like this because this is my portfolio page. All right, so now what we're going to do is this is going to be black. Okay, so then this now there we go, is going to be a light blue. All right, so to get the light blue, what we need to do is go to our color and we're going to pick this color here. And then we're going to lighten it. RGB, how do we lighten it? Well, we just go here. And let's see. Let's go to swatches. There we go. And that's a cyan. We're going to use cyan for this. That's going to be cyan as well. Okay, gone. Now the selected one, we have to go over here to the states. Okay, so normal is gray. Well, I want normal to be this blue. All right, so normal will be blue. Okay, whoops, with states. Roll over, we're going to go to dark blue. So the color for rollover will be here. Mouse down. Well, mouse down, we're going to go ahead and make it black. All right, and then, excuse me, active is going to be the dark blue. It's like the rollover. In fact, you know what? We're going to change the rollover to make it red. Or mouse down red, rollover black. All right, with white text. All right, so the active is going to be the dark blue. Here we go. All right. Now we're going to look at the states again. So the mouse down is going to be red. Let's grab the red. All right. And then now the roll over state is going to be the black. And the text is going to be red. Let's get the right red here. There we go. All right, and it's going to be bold. In fact, I'm going to have it bold on all of them, all right? So now we're going to go back to the states here. And it's hard to see, so it's going to be red as well. Oh, come on. Helps if I do this right. States. There we go. So that's going to be red. This is going to be red with black text. Okay, so the color, we're going to take the text, make it black. All right, and bold. Good. The states, normal, are going to be text, bold. All right, and then the states active are going to be red. And bold. All right, so that takes care of my buttons. But, okay, so this is going to be, this one's going to be photos. This one is going to be logos. And this one, let's actually go take a look, see what I have. Because I'm going to add one more here. All right. So what we're going to do, this one, let's go back to the web page, to the portfolio. Notice photo repair, photography, illustrations, and logos. All right. So photo repair, photography, illustrations, and logos. All right, so that is the setup. So we're going to go back to this first one. All right, so for photo repair, now what we're going to do is we're going to go widget library and slideshows. We have the basic, blank, full screen, lightbox, and thumbnails. Well, let's do the thumbnails, all right? So for thumbnails, we bring this in. All right, now these, okay, those, this is going to go narrow so that they're built up like that, and this will go right here. Right, this is gone. This we don't need, this we don't need, and this we don't need. But this is going to go right here, and we're going to make it larger. Oh, that's too large. All right, so there we go. Now for the photo. Now we're going to place photos into here. All right. So we click on it. Notice how these are set up. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to file, place, and these are my images, all right? My photos. So let's see. This is my photo repair. So we're going to bring this one in. Notice how large that is. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the size, link together. Let's put 100. That's perfect. Now, this one is tied to the larger one, right? So look how it says that. See, I just placed that there. Let's make this a little bit easier, though, because otherwise you have to sit there, play with it, make it all there. But watch this. Let's go File, Add Image. And we're going to go down to this one. Notice how that worked. And there we go. So now if I had a second one to put in there, which I've got a few. So we're going to go out here really quick to, let's take a look. Do I have them here? Oh, I do. So we're going to go back to there. Now we're going to place another one, add image. Let's see. Okay, there's the SVG. And I don't have them here. So we're going to go find it really quick. All right, so documents, projects, Loki Designs Graphics. Photo repair. There we go. There's one. So now we open it. Notice we get to import a layer. All right. And we want the whole thing. So there we go. Now notice the size here. Now we're going to make it fit the box. All right, to do that, all we have to do is come back up here to resize again. And we're going to take it to 300. And that's way too small. So now what we can do is this is going to go, since it's taller, let's see. Oh, look, all I did was click one and it went to the whole thing. All right. That's going to go right there. All right. So now we just switch back and forth between the two. And I'm going to do the same with this one. All right. So now we have here and there. All right. And let's take a look here. Do I have another one? And we'll use that one. Okay, again, we have the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this, shoot it up, and down like that. Notice how pixelated it gets. So that's something you're going to have to work on so that when you view it, it's not pixelated, all right? Now let's go to photography. Well, I'm going to cheat here. So we're going to catch this, Command C. Go over to photography. Command V, And notice it puts it right there. So what we want to do is now, for photography, add, all right, first one, we're going to put this one in. All right, now at this point, we're going to go through, delete, delete, and delete. All right, click this one, drag it up, and do the same thing. So when you do this, you need to make sure your graphics are created to fit the size, okay? As you can tell, they are not here. All right, next, we're going to add one more, add a couple more, a pirate flag. That's an illustration. Okay, we're going to use this one. Same thing. So when you're doing this, again, just make sure you're doing it so it's not pixelated, all right? Next, we're going to add, we'll add the second one. All right, so there we have those. All right, now you see, like I said, how pixelated they are. Well, what happened was before when I did these, I had large and then I had an icon. This is the icon. As you can tell, these are icons. That's why this is happening, okay? So when you create these, they're going to create two full files when you save them. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and add one more. So we're going to add, let's go to projects. And we're going to go in here to photos. Notice there's the small and there's the regular. All right, so what we're going to do is I only have one small of that one. That's the problem. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one. Now watch the difference. See again, see the pixelation? So that's something to remember as you're doing this. If I use the icon, it would even be smaller. Let's go ahead and now we're going to add the icon. Now to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an icon. Let's grab the small one here. Now, see the difference there? That was the icon, which is this size. See how this is automatically making those icons, where before, when I do this in Dreamweaver, I had to make those icons. Okay? So that's where this difference comes in. This is doing the icons for us. All right? So I don't need to increase their size or anything. And notice they went right back to the right size. Okay? All right. Let's bring this back in. Man, 0. Notice how much larger this is. So somehow I really messed that up. So we're going to shrink it in and bring this in, shrink it in again, bring it back. Go, and now we're going to bring it in. All right, and there we go to there. All right, now we have this, okay? There's my portfolio. Now my illustrations. Delete, delete, Command V. All right, so now we're gonna add illustrations. So the first one, click here, and let's go back to the illustrations. Now to get these illustrations, we're gonna go right back to here where I had them before. The pirate. Okay, now these others, Shift and Shift, I can delete. All right, now I'm going to add another one, a brand, add another, all right, there we go. And see, it automatically set these up for the right size. And it increased the size again. Oh, stop. Stop. All right, so now we have that. So the next thing we need to do is our logos. Again, Command V. All right, so now I'm going to add logos. And you know what? I can, that one's a logo. Now these others, delete, and I click this. Now we go here. Now fitting, fit content for promotion. Let's try that again. Click content proportionately, okay? Proportionally. And that's what it does. So now we're adding another one. And I'm going to actually grab one that I've already used because it's a brand, but it's also an illustration. So I can use it in both. And we're going to grab here, fitting, fit proportionately. And we're going to go back here in a minute and do that to each one after we set this size back up. All right, now we're going to go back and fit each one. Okay, photo repair. Now watch, if I grab each one, right click, fit proportionately, it automatically does it to each one at once. Okay, same here. Right click, fit proportionately, illustrations. Right click, same thing. And the logos should already be there. We already did that. All right, so now, in fact, all we have to do, there's my portfolio page. See, so I took this and actually advanced by putting it together. All right, now the next thing I want to do is my contact page. All right, the contact page widget. And we want forms, simple contact. Drag it and drop it. All right, whoops. Go to here. And we're going to make that the red. And we're going to increase its size. Remember to click it twice so you get just that if that's what you want to do. All right, and there we have it. All right, well, the next thing I want is just above that is I want to go to here, and now we're going to insert some things, all right? So we're going to come at the top, select this whole thing, and, well, let's see, we want checkbox group. How did you hear about us? All right. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to go friend website. Then we'll add another. Well, to do that, you actually have to click up here. Add another checkbox. And we're going to add a couple more. Advertisement. Friends. Facebook. Yeah, that's giving me squiggly lines, so yeah, it's Facebook, one word. There we go. We'll leave it at that. All right, and submit. All right, so there is our contact page. Now, the one thing that we need to do is look at our address. Okay, now we're going to talk about that, though, here in a little while. Because coming to right here, notice it says there may be an issue. All right, now afterwards, I'm going to go back to the home page. All right, so what we're going to do is File, Save Site As, LD, and now we're going to take it into Site, and we're going to add another page, a new one, all right? So that this one's going to here now, all right? So this is recorded. Create. And LD, Loki Designs. Save. All right, now watch as we run it. File. We're going to preview website, site and browser. All right, so this is what we have. The home. About me. Portfolio. And I can click on which one I want. Photo repair. Photography. illustrations. Notice it's going through them as well, but they can automatically just choose which one they want just as fast. And logos. All right. And then the contact me. Now watch when I do this. It's not going to work. And let's say we heard it from Facebook. Submit. Notice submitting this form from Muse Preview will not work. Upload your site. You upload to FTP host or publish to Adobe Business Catalyst or test submission. All right, so we're going to take a 10-minute break. When we get back, that's the next step we're going into. And I'll show you how to make that work. All right, so let's bring back up. Like I said, we're going to take a 10-minute break. And here we go. All right, welcome back from the break. All right, so before the break, we were talking about some of the things. So what I'm going to do one last time here is really quick is preview site and browser. All right, take a look at these. Home, about, portfolio, photo repair. Notice nothing changes because that's where it's at. Photography. And you know, see all this white space? That's something you have to be aware of also. You don't want that. So that's something we will probably fix really quick. Okay, illustrations and logos. All right, so we're going to fix that really quick. Now, the contact me, like I said, it will not submit, all right, because we're just doing it from form view. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fix this up really quick. And shrink it down. Bring this over. And shrink some of that down so it's not as large. There we go. And we could shrink this down even more now to it. Now let's take a look at everything. Let's go to photo repair. Photo repair, I've got to do the same thing. Move it over. Now let's go to photography again. All right, and then the width. Right there at the half point. Okay, photo repair. Do the same thing, width at half. Illustrations. Same thing. Width at half. And logos. Same thing. And width at half. All right, now you'll notice that leaves a lot of white space here. So what we can do is we could shrink that down even more. Now it all fits, and I can move this over to right here. And put it at the half point. All right, so that takes care of that problem. All right, so now we have to prepare it for the web. How do we do that? Well, we come up here, File, and now we go to Export as HTML. There's a couple ways, right? So export as HTML. This is LD. I hit cancel. Whoops. So once again, export as HTML. LD dot. And it's going to be actually Loki-signs.com. That's the actual site URL. Now, where I'm putting it, let's go back here, re-recorded, and now new folder, ready. And let's spell that right. All right, so there we go. Now, export. And you're going to see an error. Form contact form is configured with an email address of michael.brooks@Stevens-Henniger, which does not match the server name of Loki Designs. Some hosting providers refuse to send emails from email addresses on different hosts. If submitting your form does not send email as expected, change the first email address listed in your Muse form to an address on lokidesigns.com and try again. All right, so we're going to say view site. That way we test it all. About, portfolio, and it's working. Notice this one's now a little too large. So we can fix that. Okay. Photography, illustrations, and logos. But it now fits, okay? There's not a lot of extra blue white space. Contact me, same thing, but since we're still previewing it, it's going to have that same issue. All right, so now, the next way we could do this is File, Publish to Business Catalyst. Now, Business Catalyst comes with this, all right? So the blank name is going to be Loki-DESIGNS, Loki Designs, .businesscatalyst.com, all right? So there we go. Now it's going to publish it to it. It's going to take a couple minutes. It's almost there. Notice there's 64 files there because of everything that gets saved when you export it as HTML. While it's going through that, let's go ahead and we're going to go through that really quick to desktop. And you'll see all the files there. Okay, CSS included. CSS is a type of code that adds pretty looking things to the site. All right, so now notice lokidesigns.businesscatalyst.com index.html. So my site is up and running on Adobe. Adobe owns Business Catalyst, okay? Now what we're going to do here, let's do a test. So let's do this. And we're going to say Facebook. Submit. Oh, it went. Let's see if it worked. So now, bring up my email. We're going to stop sharing for a second while I see if it went. And it actually did go through. Okay. And I'm going to bring it up so that you can see it and block everything else. So zoom, share screen. All right. So as you can see, it sent it. All right. And it sends it as a high priority. So basically the message and all this. Now, normally I'd have these two switched around. Okay. So Catalyst does it. Now, with Catalyst, as you can see, it's there. All right. Now, how do you check your Catalyst? Okay. Add in-browse editing users. That's so other people can edit it. Assign a name, domains. Let's go in and look. I can actually assign it a domain. Since I own Loki-Designs, I could change that, okay? This is my Catalyst. Notice Business Catalyst, it's one of the Adobe's logos, right? Icons. All right, so preview it. There it is. And I can change these. All right, and I can edit it and change this. Homepage, it automatically goes to so and so on. Active, always show HTTP address in the address bar. There's no sign in, that's not a needed thing. All right, so I could change those there if I want. A records, I haven't added a host name. C name, records for mailing, and advanced DNS records. All right, site manager. Web forms. I already have a web forms there. It's the contact form. I could create another one right here. And call it an order form. Title, order, email address, and I can add so much more. Work address, list, down drop, text. See, so we can add that. Okay. System emails. It automatically responds, okay? Reports, who looked at it, visitors and everything. Site settings, domain, admin users, user roles, mobility. Beta features. Beta features gives you all sorts of things you can add to the page when it comes up. Okay, so you can enable module name parameters if you're doing modules instead of the pages. Render page. Okay, so as you can see, these are all. Now we go to manage, hosting, launch site. As soon as I click that, everybody can see it, okay? And it's searchable by search engines. And this is its web address. If you do not need the site, you can simply delete the site. So we're going to delete it. Delete site. Password that I used to create it. That's a matter of remembering what the password was. There we go. Got it. Just other reasons. And then I'm just going to delete the site. Okay. That site is now gone. Okay. Because personally, I like it, but I've already got another server. As you can see, it's Bluehost. Now, using another server, things come out a little different. All right. I'll tell you right off the bat, Bluehost will not send that email. Okay. Now, here's things we can look at. I can log in, and this is how you're going to be uploading to a website. So we're going to use my Bluehost server, all right? Loki Desai, that's the name they assigned it for my login, my password, and submit. All right, as things come up, I have all sorts of options here. And this is something you're going to have to learn with websites. Website Manager. So I can add WordPress, Concrete 5, Weebly, and a few others. Drupal. Drupal's really hard to work. Mojos, Joomla, PrestaShop, Magento, and there's a few others you can find, okay? You can even build your own site here. Or you can use FTP. We'll get to there. All right, my domains. As you can see, the domain name, LokiDesigns.com. Click on it, and it gives me the info over here. All right? And all this information right here. Add-ons. Well, these are things I can add on, like G-Site, add the power of Google Web Applications to your hosting. SiteLock. SiteLock helps protect websites built with open source software. Spam experts, domain, and there's a lot of them, okay? So it depends on what hosting service you use, all right? You can even quickly and thoroughly repair the damage caused by hackers. WordPress, app machines, pay-per-click. Weebly, Mojos, more site builders, and partners. So there's all sorts of things you can do here. Your account, add-ons, upgrades. Now, we're going to go back to the hosting. All right? And getting started, these are all things up here that will help you through it. Website, email. Click on the email, and I could set up emails, okay? This is the email stuff for that. Files, manages all the files. Domains, Loki Designs. So manage add-on products. I've got SiteLock, Weebly, and domains activated. Website, install WordPress. I'm really leery of WordPress myself, but a lot of people that like it, it is popular. So that's just my personal opinion. All right. Help Center, change passwords, update billing, renew account, and change settings. All right. So now that we've gone through a lot of these, now we're going to go back to here again. Statistics, I could see who's looked at it, the bandwidth used, and everything else. Upgrades, register domain, and so on. There's a lot of things you can add. Professional services, promotional security, database tools. You can add a database behind this. Programming. And advanced partners and preferences. All right. So now we go back to, I want to go to the home. All right. Now at the home, hosting. Notice it's only showing part of it because I clicked on home. Let's go back to here. It brings up everything again. All right. So let's look up here, website. The website can add those. FTP. This tells me how to FTP up to it. All right. Now I've got this account set up, webmaster@lokidesigns.com. All right. So that's what I'm uploading to. Now, to configure an FTP client, these are the things we're going to need. These are just programs you can download that are free to help you do this as well. But you'll see, all right, what we're going to do really quick. We're going to look at what I have. lokidesigns.com. All right, there's the home. The about. Notice the buttons are a little different. Portfolio. I have my portfolio here. And contact. So it's different. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. We're going to upload this. So, okay, I got rid of that. So I no longer have the business catalyst. Now, upload to an FTP host. This will work for Weebly or other things as well. All right. So the server, let's go here. Look at this. Server, FTP, lokidesigns.com. Copy it. The username. Well, the user is this right here. So we're going to copy that. And then the password. Options. FTP, extended passive. So you usually just leave these, okay? So next. You have opted not to store credentials. Well, we want to store them. That way Muse can check for them. All right, so now only modified all files. Now watch, I click OK. Checking for site changes. Now it's optimizing and exporting. 71 files. So doing it this way, there's more files. We're getting there. Almost. It's also deleting the old files on the server. All right, notice. Form contact form is configured with an email address of michael.brooks. See, so this says that gives you that same warning. Now, view site. Notice it actually takes me to the site. It doesn't view it on the computer. All right, about, portfolio, contact. Notice they're the old things. So let's go to portfolio and refresh. Home. About me. We're going to hit the refresh. See the difference now? After you hit refresh, it fixes all that. And the contact me and refresh. Now we're going to test this. Okay, so Mike, email, test, Facebook. Now watch. Submitting form. Form received. Oh, it actually did it tonight. So we're going to stop this for a second and see if it actually comes in. And Siri popped in. All right, so let's check the email. And it's not coming across. Okay, so what do we have to do? What we need to do is we need to actually go back in. All right, so now we're going to go back. We're going to stop this. All right, this we already have now. All right, so we've already got all this information. All right, now we're going to go back into here. And we're going to click on this main thing. And look, this web address, okay, it didn't come in. So what we need to do, let's go back over. Now we're going to sign out. Okay, so log out. Now I'm going to log in on the email side. All right. So we're going to log in. Notice hosting webmail. All right, I already have all this webmail. Now here it is, design team lokidesigns.com. All right. That's where I'm sending it to. So we're going to copy that. That is my email address that I want to put in there. So we're going to do this. Do a quick check. Let's see. Yeah, nothing came in. Nothing came in. So we're going to go quickly to here and change this address. Command V. Now we're going to save it. But before we do this, this is way too large of text. So what we're going to do for the text is we're going to lower it. Shrink it down. There we go. That should do it right there. So now we're going to File, Save Site. All right, next, File, Upload. Now watch this. Watch the difference. We're connecting only modified files. Now watch. Checking for site changes. And it's only 2 pages. All right, now it takes me to it. About me. Okay, so we refresh. See, that's much easier to read. That's still probably too large. Portfolio. Contact. Now we're going to do this again. Facebook, submit. Form received, it takes me back to there. Now I'm going to stop this for 1 second on the sharing and go to Outlook. Send, receive. Now it's thinking. Still thinking. and it's still not coming across. Well, we're no longer sending it to Independence. So it's still thinking for some reason. I think it's having a hard time picking it up due to Zoom. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back to here. Now we're logged in. We're going to log into there. And we're going to use my favorite, Squirrel Mail. Okay, now I have it set to automatically go. But here is the new form we just sent. 11:37 p.m. tonight. All right, so as you can see, this form is now working. All I had to do was change it to something that works on that website. All right. So we've now got that figured out. All right, now, as you can see, we've got all our stuff working. So we're going to go ahead. We're finished with that. And now let me double check one more. Yeah, that should have just come in. All right, so now, as you can see, this is our page, About Me. And let's refresh. Now notice, because we have that set, it automatically, it's not changing. Everything but that is changing, okay? So that's where other options come in when we're building our website for everything. FTP complete. And now you can also go to this site and watch. Now I can edit it through here. Takes me right into the site. So you can edit it through Adobe. Now, granted, there's going to be some issues. All right, so this is the home page, the About Me. All right, now we take this. Oh, we need to shrink it some. Well, how are we going to do that? You're very limited on what you can edit. All right, now we go to here, frequently asked, change language, about, log out, Adobe Muse insert editing. The main thing is this is for your links, okay? That's what it mainly does, is work on the links. Or edit the image. I could change out images. So I personally, myself, prefer to use Muse and then just upload whatever I change. All right, now we're going to bring this up again, and that's still too large. So let's take it down and take a look at that now. All right, so now file, save site. Now watch when I do FTP. Connected, only modified, and look at this. It's going to be just one file. And boom. Now we go to the About Me, and see, that's a lot easier to read now. Still a little too large, but for the purposes of this, it's working. It's great for what we needed. All right, so home, about, portfolio. And again, I could go to what I want when I want. Same with the photography. Illustrations. And that's how that works. We could probably shrink that up even a little more and make it a little better. But this gives room for other illustrations and repairs as I put them in there. All right, And then the contact me form. Like I showed, it's now working. All right, that being said, this is basically the end of this mod. And we're going to say okay. And like I said, I could probably do, probably decide to do that later. So what I need you to do, make sure that you turn in all your work. So we're still missing your week 3 stuff and your week 4. Let's take a look at your grades here. What I need you to turn in is your week 4 discussion, your week 4 assignment, week 4 assessment, and if you can, the same things for week 3. The discussion, even if it's just one post, okay? The discussion, the assignment, the assessment, and the discussion, assignment, the assessment. You know, remember, week 4's assessment's a quiz. Career integration, and then try to catch up, do your last 2 daily quizzes, daily checkpoints. That will help a lot. Now, that being said, some of the things I wanted to talk about when you're using Muse. All right, something I want to demonstrate is Dreamweaver can adapt and change some things. All right. Now, Muse and Dreamweaver have not totally caught up to each other. So we're going to create a new site. Actually, we're going to open a new site. All right, and we're going to go to re-recorded, ready, index, open. Notice that doesn't really come up too much, okay? So what we need to do, the index, the portfolio, these are all old sites, all an old site. So what I need to do is come up here to manage sites, and I'm going to add a new site. So we're going to go back to re-recorded, ready, choose. Advanced settings, the graphics are all going to this images right there. Choose. Now save. All right, and done, and it brings this one up. Now, no matter what, notice all of them have this issue because they were created elsewhere. Now, you can make some changes here. All right. So, for example, notice let's go ahead and do a quick test here for you. All right. So now we're going to test in Google Chrome. This is what we get. Some files on the server may be missing or correct. Clear browser cache and try again. So they're missing because, well, it was designed in Muse. And like I said, this is where Muse and InDesign and Dreamweaver are not working together. All right. Now, see how this says it's all Muse assets? That's what ties it about. Okay. That's what makes that difference. Meta tags, content type. Okay. This is the about page. Now, again, watch as we post this. And it says about. So we're going to go back to here. Go down here. And it doesn't talk at all about regular code. All right. And that's the one thing you have to remember. Now, see where it says about? Now watch. Loki designs about me. All right. So now we're going to save this. Bring it up. So we can make some small changes. See that? Loki designs about me. All right. Now, what we're going to do really quick, watch this. Loki designs the about. See how it just says about? Now, we could change that in a couple places, but we just changed it there. All right. Now we're going to go back to Muse. Now, watch what happens when I upload this now. Upload. And okay. Okay, before you saw it set about, right? Now, refresh. It still says about. That little change was not made in Loki Designs, okay? So it was made here in Dreamweaver. Right there. But because of that, now that it's closed, we're going to do this one time again. Notice about still the same. It did not change. So what we changed there in Dreamweaver most likely will not work with right now. Okay. Eventually the goal for the company is for that to work. Okay. Just doesn't right now. So what we can do, file, come down here, see, manage CAD list. Well, we're not using that, so we don't have to worry about that. Edit, page, object. See, now we can do the same thing. Insert this, insert link anchor. Now, these are things you could play with also, but they're more advanced. Convert to shapes, view, you could do the same thing with the calendar, with the guides. Lock guides, hide guides, rulers, and you can bring across just like we do in all the other Adobe programs. Reset panels, the setup, assets, bullets, bullet styles, so you can get into this as well. The bullets, the bullet styles to get a little more content to it. Effects. What can we do with effects? Well, we can make the buttons beveled, embossed, glow. Fill glyphs. These are glyphs. Glyphs are other text that you can bring in. You have to actually have the text marked. Graphic styles, layers, library, paragraph style, scroll effects. What's it do when you scroll? Spacing, dates, you already know, strokes, swatches, text, transform, warnings, which you've already seen the warnings, widget library, and wrap. Application frame and Loki Designs. This is the about page. That's what's open. Preferences. All right, we can do some changes here. See, publish with the account. So I can actually make another account to put there. But since it's my Adobe ID, I'd have to create another Adobe ID with the other email to do that. All right, and sign in with it. Let's see. File, let's see, is there anything else I wanted to go over here? Site properties. All right, let's look at the site properties. Site properties are what we see when we set up. Normal, hover. See, I could even set the hyperlinks here to do what I want if I'm using just the text. Browser scroll bars, automatic or always vertical, horizontal or always automatic. Convert opaque PNG to JPEG. Favicon. This is what will show when you... Okay, so we're going to bring in a graphic. Notice none of these have a favicon to them. Well, we're going to grab the logo. Open it. Favicon graphic must be square. Please choose a different file. It will tell you. And what the favicon does when you are right here. See this? That graphic right there in the corner? That's a favicon. What you create will go to right there. And advanced. Enable in browser editing. That's that in you could actually take that off so that you don't even have that option. Like I said, it's up to you. I don't particularly care for it myself. I prefer to do it in Muse. So that's your choice as you start playing with it. Use legacy text baseline positions. That tells you legacy automatically puts it in certain places, okay? Web fonts, default subset. Load pages faster using fallback points fonts. Well, I don't need that because I automatically have them set up to the main fonts. And minify CSS, so the least CSS possible. Let's see. Page properties, we've already discussed. The same thing you see when you first. Now, the metadata, description, keywords. Notice this is on all of them. This is just for the about page. Okay, so I could name it instead of about. And watch this. We can say about Loki designs. Page title, we leave, same as the page name. No, we're going to leave it, page title, about. Let's see, about dot Loki designs. Lopke, I must have spelled something wrong somewhere. Include page with hyperlink. Yeah. Inherit, and okay, now watch as we save this. File, save site. File, preview site in browser. Now watch when I go to the about page. Notice it still says that. Okay. Now we're going to upload this. Validating. Checking for changes. And here we go, 1 of 4 pages. All right, now watch when we go to the site. Home, about, it didn't change, right? Well, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do something here, all right? Page, let's see, the edit, file. Okay, mind dump, sorry. Now we're gonna go to the site properties. Okay, there's the site, content. We've already talked about them. Now we need the page properties. About Loki designs. Oh, there's the typo. All right, so the page. So page properties, there we go. So about Loki designs. And the page title is the same as the page name. All right, so now watch the difference. And you'll see here, it changed it there as well. So whatever you put there is what is going to show up when we do this. Upload. Okay, and here we go. Now it's going to take me to the site. Now watch. See about Loki Designs. So that's how you'll change that up there. All right. There's a couple ways. Now, you notice when I did it in Dreamweaver, it would not work. Again, Dreamweaver and Muse still do not work together, even though they're made by the same company. Muse is too new. So that's something probably, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I'm going to guess it's going to happen down the road. But right now, it doesn't. All right. The home, portfolio, photo repair, photography, illustrations, logos, contact me. All right. So it's getting closer. And this is almost what I want, but not quite yet. All right. But like I said, make sure to go through, get those things submitted, and that will help a lot with your grades. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be available to help. I will probably call you tomorrow, which is later today, Saturday. Well, still tomorrow, as it's still not midnight here yet. So I'll probably call you tomorrow just to check, see how things are going. If you have any questions, go ahead and have them ready, and I will answer them. And that's it. Once you get your site up, let me know. And like I said, you can use that, use the Business Catalyst if you want. Just send me that link, okay? And that'll help. That way you get it up there, then you can delete it later. Because I showed you how to add it, how to delete it as well. And I showed you how to upload the site to other sites through FTP. There's other routes, but these are the easiest ones to do. That's why we're not going to cover them. So for that, this ends the class. This ends the mod. And I apologize that we had to re-record this. So you have a nice weekend, and I look forward to talk to you later today on Saturday. Good night.